pick up part two. So part two, Smoke and Mirrors. And oh my goodness, when I say this book moved me last night as I was reading it and came up on a part, first of all, I love how the author, again, Tony LaRue, she makes like a big reveal, but it's very subtle. And she did that with an elevator scene. And that part, I was like, oh my God. Hi, I'm Ebony. Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited to share with you all a book review today. The book that I am reviewing is Smoke and Mirrors by Tony LaRue. Hey, so this book, OMG. And on the cover, it says, she'll be who he needs to get what she wants. And baby, yes, she does. Now, I'm not going to tell you who she is because you need to get the book. And trust me, you're going to want to get this book. Let me start by saying this book is part two. Okay, so part one is called The Morning After. And that book is good, good. So I don't even know Miss Tony. I was watching an author interview where she was being interviewed by French Elsa Brooks, and I'll link her YouTube page, that interview, so you can check out the interview. She is hilarious. French is, but it really just kind of made you feel like you knew the author. So after watching that interview, I said, okay, well, let me, look her up, check her out, what have you. And she has quite a few books out on Amazon. But I decided on The Morning After because it's a shorter book, like a novella or a short story. And I love me a good novella or short story, shout out to myself because that's what I write. So I said, okay, I'll start there. This is what part one is about. Okay, so you have a married couple, the husband, and he's cheating left and right on his wife all the time. And I think his name was Mike. But then his wife, she knows, but she pretends like she doesn't. Where they do that at? Cause let me find out that my spouse doing something. In the minute I find, who is this? Who is this? Right? But that's not Veronica. She knows. She pretends she doesn't. That part struck me so much. I was talking about it with my girlfriend last night. She was like, but a lot of women, they do that for whatever reason. Maybe it's financial reasons. Maybe they want to keep up a certain image, their own family history or background. Maybe it's a business thing, whatever, people do that. And I said, okay, I can understand that. I couldn't be that girl, but I get it. So, anyways, that is it. He's cheating all the time. She knows, but pretends she doesn't know. But then here comes this mistress, Paris. Y'all better leave Paris alone. Leave her alone. But he doesn't. And when I say baby girl, it's crazy. She is crazy for real, for real. It's such a great story and it ends on a cliffhanger. So that story ended with me like, I gotta know what happens next. I need more. Let me go back to these Amazon streets and pick up part two. So part two, Smoke and Mirrors. And oh my goodness, when I say this book moved me last night as I was reading it and came up on a part. First of all, I love how the author, again, Tony LaRue, she makes like a big reveal, but it's very subtle. And she did that with an elevator scene. And that part, I was like, oh my God. I immediately, and this is facts, stopped reading, searched her up on her socials because I was like, I need a way to comment, even though I hadn't finished yet, to be like, girl, I know you didn't just do this, girl. So I like that in her writing technique where is huge, but she just slips it in there subtly to where you might not even realize what she did if you're not really paying attention. So that part was great. But with Smoke and Mirrors, there's action right away. In chapter one, it starts off. So she's grabbing you as the reader and pulling you in right away. And she pulled me, like she gripped my shirt and pulled me all the way in the first chapter. Action and suspense from Jump Street. Loved it, loved it, loved it. We don't got time for the slow burn and all that. Right away, she pulled you in. Right away. Hashtag Page Turner. Um, I found myself like talking to the characters. There's some parts where you're like, no, don't do that. The end of chapter 4, like, no, exactly that. The end of chapter 5, like, no, please don't do that. Like, you really feel like these characters are real and you're there, and it's like, danger, please, bruh, sis, like, it is there. Baby girl pulled all them emotions up out of me. So that part, that anxiety part, but then it was some parts that made me mad. Okay, so the security guard, Arnold, hashtag you taking your job too far. Too far. And I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not going to say, what the circumstances were or what he did, but the character said he wanted to lay hands on Arnold. I wanted him to. I did. Then I want him to tap me in like they did in wrestling back in the day so I can get in there with him because Arnold, like, cut it out. Stop it right now. So again, I love how her writing evokes like different emotions, that anxiety or anxious piece, the anger piece, but then there's like some heartwarming pieces. Like there's one part with the main male character, Jackson, is having a discussion with his teenage daughter, Jessica, and they're dealing with something difficult. And he just feels like, I really don't even know how to be there for my daughter in this moment. And he just kind of mentions how he was raised to kind of like shield his feelings. And I think that most men can probably resonate with that, in particular Black men. And we probably do that to them from the time they're boys. If a little Black boy is crying, it's like, stop that crying, or you acting like a girl. So we're kind of teaching them without teaching them to hide their emotions or shield their feelings, that type of thing. But, it's probably really to their detriment, but then to the detriment of everyone that will be around them or interact with them, as they get older and become men. So I thought that was a really heartwarming piece. And then there also was a part in there where it's almost like the roles were reversed and the teenage daughter was providing comfort to her father, Jackson. So I just thought like that was really nice, and I really appreciated her putting that in there. So, it's a bit of a roller coaster throughout the story with just the different emotions and feelings that you're going to experience as a reader. These chapters, baby, they end on cliffhangers. Yeah, because chapter 10, the way that one ended, I was like, oh no, like what is going to happen next? So it is masterful how she's doing that, to have you keep turning those pages, because you absolutely 1000% you want to know, well, what is going to happen next with this family. So there's Jackson and Jessica that I mentioned, and there's also a baby daughter, infant daughter. She's, I think, like 3 months old, and then there's a mother, Nova, and then there's things that happen with the baby daughter, Gabby. If that happened to my infant daughter, give me my inmate number. Just go ahead and issue it to me, because somebody finna die. I'm sorry. And I'm not a violent person, I promise. But what this girl put in this book with that baby, you do that to my baby girl. I don't even have a daughter, but you do that to my baby girl, you finna die. You're about to die, and just get my jail food ready because I'm coming. So again, like the different emotions and feelings that you experience in these pages of this short book, like, oh my goodness, I love the family dynamics. I love the emotional journey that it took me on. And then here's something that I questioned throughout the story. So remember, it's a follow up. This is part two, right? Smoke and Mirrors is part two. Part one was the morning after. Right away, I was like, okay, well, when we gonna hear about the characters from part one? Like, where's Veronica and where's Paris and where's Mike and his homeboy? Like, where they at? Because this part two, so it's a continuation. Remember, I said that Tony, like, she put stuff in there subtly. She reveals it, and when she does, it's masterful. And it really had me like, oh my goodness. Like, girl, you snuck that in there, but now I'm all tight. So like, what's gonna happen? And I'm worried. But then she gives you back clues from part one. So again, part one ended on a cliffhanger that definitely makes you want to get part two. But then when she goes back and makes the connections from part one and part two, it's really, really good. So then part two, to me, the ending was satisfying. It ends with closure, kind of wraps up, everything that was revealed throughout the story. But there's the possibility for her to be able to do another one. She definitely left that door open. She did, right? Cue that song by Bruno Mars and them. She left that door open to where she definitely could continue the story with the characters, because there's just so much there going on with this family and the things that this family experienced. Nova and Jackson, Jessica and Gabby. There's definitely room for part two to this story, or a continuation. Like maybe it's going to, the series will continue. And even one of the final conversations between two of the characters in this one, it kind of comes full circle because it touches on some previous conversations at the beginning of the story, but again, it leaves it open to where she could definitely continue the series or make like a follow-up to this book. So I just wanted to come on and show some love to a fellow author. And if you want to find out more about Miss Tony LaRue, definitely check out the interview that French Elsa Brooks did on her. And again, shout out to her for giving a spotlight to, newer authors or, up and coming authors. And I think Tony said she's been writing maybe 7 or 8 years or something along those lines, but I'll definitely include her socials so that you can look her up, because she likes to write thrillers and, like crime type dramas or whatnot. And yeah, this is that. And I love a good crime drama or true crime. Like, I love that stuff. Don't necessarily read that, but so I kind of took a chance with this and that being her genre, but she did not disappoint. Right? She left no crumbs. This story was that good with the reveals and whatnot. Like, I had some real reactions to this story, to the point where I just had to share. Hashtag I had to share. It was that good. So definitely check out her interview. It will be linked. Go support her. Check out her books, where you can purchase them, or if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read them for free. So again, that will be linked. And then continue to stay tuned to my channel, where I will continue to share insight and things from my personal author journey, but then also do reviews of the books that I am reading. So that is it for now. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helped me out as I start up my channel. And this is Ebony Q. I'm an author, and I tell our stories my way. Happy reading.